What is going on, guys? This is Chris. This is How I Talk, and I am back with another episode. Guys, I appreciate you first and foremost for checking in for these episodes and listening to some of the jewels that I have and some of the knowledge that I've gained from just experiences that I have encountered. As you know, I don't do this alone. We got Tim as well. He's been doing some other things, and you'll see him discussing some videos in the future with me, alongside of me, or just doing it individually. But I think the biggest thing for us, guys, is just giving you guys that fresh content, giving you things that you would like to listen to. And if you want to share how you feel about something or something that you want us to discuss, just nothing but a DM on Instagram, an email, you name it. You can reach out to us. So feel free to reach out to us, even on Facebook, on our page. If you have something you want to discuss, let us know. We can definitely get you guys some insight on it. But today, guys, I wanted to talk about business. The good old-fashioned business. Don't we love it? Business is nothing to play with. But one thing I've noticed about business, it has its highs and it has its lows. But going through business myself, I've definitely learned quite a few things. And one thing I wanted to share with you guys is what I have learned. And one thing I wanted to pinpoint that I've noticed that in businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs fail at being able to accomplish this. What am I talking about? I think it is important that entrepreneurs learn how to export their weaknesses. I just feel like I touched a nerve point right there because most people don't want to elaborate on their weaknesses. They don't want to accept their weaknesses. And unfortunately, a lot of entrepreneurs that I talk to feel that they don't have weaknesses. And that's just flat out not true. We all have areas of weaknesses. The most beneficial thing that you can do as an entrepreneur is realize what your weakness is. The moment you can realize what your weakness is, you can turn that weakness to a strength. That is the purpose and that is the focus behind it. Now, we all have strengths such as our confidence, being able to create things and be independent, being innovative, being full of knowledge. Maybe you're just aware about a certain industry and you've been in the industry for a long time, so you've created a business, so you have a lot of know-how. You may be business focused, business savvy, but there's also other areas where you could lack and skills that may not necessarily be your strengths. One is budgeting, money, accounting skills. That may not be your strong point. Bad time management. Maybe you can't handle stress, or you have poor self-control, or your administrative skills are not up to the best capability, or maybe you're not detail oriented. Or, of course, for a business to operate, sales have to come in. Maybe sales is not your strength or something that you focus on enough. So we all have areas of strengths and we have areas of weaknesses. But I would say the most important thing for somebody to do is to define their weakness. That is what you must do, and define what your strengths are. So if you're listening and you're an entrepreneur and you haven't done this, list your strengths, list your weaknesses. Again, list your strengths, list your weaknesses, and then accept your weaknesses. It may hurt, but accept your weaknesses. If you can do that, it will allow you to get in a position that most entrepreneurs are not in. Once you have done that, the next thing that you need to do is you must do first before you can export to somebody else, so you understand. What do I mean by that? I've owned a business. And when you're creating a business, sometimes you just don't have the capital. For you people out there that have the capital, maybe you have seed funding, venture capitalists, you name it, that have funded you maybe $500,000 to $1 million or something like that. Well, that's a different story and a different conversation. I'm talking about entrepreneurs that are building from the ground up, that are coming in with their own chips on the table, with their own capital. And that capital may be small. It may be $5,000, $10,000, maybe $0. You're just coming, I'm going to build a business. I'm going to learn as I go. When you don't have the same amount of capital as a big company does, or somebody that is being funded by people that have large sums of money, you have to come up with creative ways and ideas to be able to get everything done. Because as a business owner, guess what? You wear several hats. You wear all hats. But it is important as a business owner that you understand the areas that you are looking to export. When I was creating my business, I was doing everything. And there was areas I was just not that strong at. One area, example, is social media. When I created my educational company, I was doing the social media content. Boy, it was terrible. Like when I recollect, it was trash. Like straight up and down, trash. Like I was trying, but I did everything on my own. I also created my own website, and again, it's just funny looking back because these are things I learned. And it was great to learn that stuff, and it was intriguing, but it wasn't a strong suit of mine. Could I have made it a strong suit? Sure. But those are areas I felt that this wasn't necessarily something that was vital for me to learn in the overall compass of the company. I could still do it in order for us to have a website and us to have social media presence, but I knew at some point I needed to export this because I didn't have enough time to focus on that type of stuff, and I knew it just wasn't something I was truly invested in. So fast forward a couple of years later, I was able to then hire somebody to do social media, hire somebody to build websites for me. So now we have these things automated and able to run smoothly and effectively. I'm able to get out my vision the way I had planned it in my head. But before then, when I was doing it, was like, I'm limited here. I can only do what I can only do. And that's the problem right there. As an entrepreneur, when you have a weakness, sometimes you're limited by your constraints on your skill set. If you are able to export your weakness, you are allowing yourself more time and freedom and the ability to have somebody else come in who has a stronger skill set to do the things that you are not knowledgeable or have skill set to do so. And because you have done it before, you also have a understanding of the timetable and what it takes for a person to do the job that you have for them. So when somebody came into social media, I knew exactly what they needed to do. I knew exactly different ways that they can make things go faster, quicker, because I did this before, right? When we did email campaigns and things like that, I've done that before. I've already did all this different stuff. Now, they may come in and have a different perspective, and they may have other ideas that I wasn't even knowledgeable about, but I have a good base and understanding to figure out, one, how long different things take, and two, if what I'm getting is valuable or not, because I've already done some of these things. And if I know more than them, well, guess what? You're probably not the best fit. Clearly, because your skill set couldn't be that great enough if this is not something that is a strength of mine. So that's what I would encourage you guys to do, is look for somebody that has the skill sets that you do not have. Again, you may not have the budget at first, but you should be looking further down the line to be able to do that. You may have to start out doing it yourself, unfortunately. But further down the line, look for somebody that has a skill set to do that. So you want to export your weakness. You want to find qualified contractors or companies to lead this. You can find them on different websites. You could go to Upwork. You could go to Fiverr, just depending on what you're looking for. You can go through Facebook Marketplace. I mean, there's so many different ways, indeed, to find people that you're looking for to do the job that you need done. Once you find quality, good people, you're set. I want to be clear. When you export, it takes a couple bumps in the road. It takes a couple failures before you find that right person. Because finding good employees is like finding a needle in a haystack. It ain't that easy, buddy. It ain't that easy. But look for those type of people. It's going to make your life easier. You'll be able to understand your budget as well. Because when you're exporting, you need to understand how much can you afford. If your budget's $400 or $500, you need to stay within that constraint and say, hey, look, you know exactly what you're going in with when you're interviewing or looking for people. Look, I have a monthly budget of $500 or I have a weekly budget of $500. Can you do this based on my budget? This is part-time or this is full-time, whatever it is. You got to understand what your budget is. So again, if you don't understand your budget, what your budget is, you might need to look into getting an accountant. Luckily for me, I am an accountant, so I already understand cash flow. I understand money management. I understand balance sheets. I understand financial statements and all that other jazz. I get that. So if it is an area of concern or something that you know you're not strong in, go find it. And if you can find that, you will be able to, one, already understand what needs to be done because you've done it already. You'll be able to understand your budget. Great. You'll be able to find these qualified contractors by going to the websites I mentioned earlier. And then the last one, of course, is you need to be able to inspect what you expect. My father used to always say that to me, Chris, inspect what you expect. He would always tell me that when I was running a business. He said, why is that so important? If you don't inspect what you expect, how can you measure what a person is doing? right? If I never tell you my expectations, you will never know my expectations. If I don't tell you this is what I expect out of you for you to get the job done every week or every day, you're just going to go out there and do what you feel is needed. You may not be prioritizing tasks on high level, high, medium, and low. You may put the low before the high. If I don't tell you what needs to be done or what I expect out of you, you will never do what I need done at the capacity that I need it done at. That's the important expectations. Once you've set the expectations, you inspect what you expect. Now I'm going to look in to see, are you actually doing the things that I'm looking for? I'm paying you money. I expect results. If the results are there, you're flourishing. Great. We're getting things done. We're moving forward. If they are not there, then what I need to do? I need to, coach you. Either I'm going to elevate you, coach you up, or I'm going to coach you out. Somebody else used to tell me that, Chris, you either coach them up or you coach them out. And I thought that was phenomenal. So either I'm going to raise the bar for you or I'm going to have to lead you out. But again, guys, the purpose of this is really to show you, hire people that can help out your weaknesses. Accept them. They're there. Okay, great. Some of the weaknesses you can build into strengths if you're really interested. And then some of them you need to look to hire people elsewhere. And the benefit of having somebody else come in is that you can build a stronger team. It's great to go alone. You can build alone, but you can go further with other people. I know I'm screwing up the quote a little bit. Give me some grace. But something along those lines. It's great to go alone and build something, but you can go further with others. You can build a strong team if you export some of these areas of weaknesses. It also creates less stress. When you're an entrepreneur, you wear so many hats. Dude, when I tell you stress is a real thing, it is a real thing, and I've felt that. Everything is on your back. People look for you to get things done, and you got clients or customers that are looking to you for responses or updates or, making sure things are actually being completed. So it reduces stress. You can build a team, and then you have the ability to increase your profits. Because your team is solid, now you have that ability to increase the amount of profits that you have available. One area that I would say was not necessarily a strength, but it wasn't a weakness, was sales. I was doing sales and I was still doing decent for what I was doing by myself. The moment I added another person was the moment my sales went up double. And this is just recent. I'm in year 7 of business, but I just now started, in the past year, started adding another person for sales. Wish I did it earlier, but you learn. You live and you learn. But in doing so, we've closed more leads. I've set the expectation, and I've been inspecting, of course, and we've been getting more out of that than it was just me, myself. Why? I couldn't focus solely on the sales because I had to focus on other areas as well. I had to do it all, and it drains you. So I've been doing that myself, and I can tell you it's beneficial. I've exported social media. I've exported sales. I've exported an accountant, even though I am one. I don't want to think about it. I exported program director, social media, building a website. Everything you can think of, I've exported. There's some things I still keep in-house, but allowing me to export has helped me tremendously. And then the last one, of course, is that doing so allows you to focus on building your business. So when you do that, it does allow you to focus on building your business. And that is something I'm actually going to be talking about in another episode. Building your business, not working in it. Growing your business, not working in it. But guess what? If you want to hear that, you got to tap into the next episode, baby. You got to tap into the next episode. Because what I'm trying to do here is drop jewels, drop knowledge, encourage you guys to continue to move forward. And as entrepreneurs, it's not easy. But when you can go with a band of other entrepreneurs that are going on the same journey as you, they can help you out. They can give you advice, give you insight. This is what I'm here to do. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this was encouraging. But go out there, find your weaknesses, find your strengths. Look for exporting options for your weaknesses. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.